Guys, so I'm gonna be back for another video, and this time I'm gonna talk about NXT. I haven't really given my full thoughts on just NXT in general, and another reason why I figure I just rather get my thoughts out the way is because I'm going to an NXT event. They're coming to Pittsburgh, Stage AE on June 11th. So I know it's backwards, but yeah, they're coming this Thursday, June 11th at Stage AE, and actually. I tried to get tickets to They usually have those pre-sale things, and I tried to do it about 20 minutes into the pre-sale, and they were completely sold out. So the very next day, I had to hurry up and get on Ticketmaster. Literally, probably the minute, literally, really the second that the tickets came out, I brought me and my friend are going. Tyler, shouts out to TC, and yeah, we're gonna go, and it's gonna be sick, hopefully. But yeah, I haven't really gone to a WWE event ever since Royal Rumble 2014, and we all know how that was with Batista winning and Rey Mysterio getting booed out of the building. And yeah, pretty much, I really haven't gone to many wrestling events, even before the Royal Rumble. Uh, Probably the time before that would have been like some random Raw in 2012, probably. I haven't really gone. Raw is usually really inconsistent, and you can't really guess when a good Raw is going to happen. So personally, it's kind of pointless for me to just pay money to go see Monday Night Raw when I can just watch it on TV, which most likely I do, and it's going to be crappy. And SmackDown's also not worth going to. So there you go. And I don't really go to house shows much. I don't think I've ever went to a house show. So. But yeah, my thoughts on NXT. First, I think the very first time I actually watched NXT was, I think, the NXT Arrival show. Not include. I'm not talking, the Nexus stuff and the NXT before that. I'm talking about the NXT, down at Full Sail University in Florida. But the first show I watched was NXT Arrival, and I think I really don't remember much about the show other than the main event. Actually, I'm really pretty sure all I watched was the ladder match between Neville and Bo Dallas, and I enjoyed it. This is when I started to like with Neville a lot. He won the belt, and Bo Dallas ended up getting caught up to the main roster. But NXT has brought a couple stars up to the main roster, and the only this is pretty much the only gripe I have about NXT is when the NXT stars go on to the main roster. Usually they're doing they get booked crap. Perfect example of the Ascension. The Ascension were really good when I watched them in NXT. I think they held the tag belts for a decent amount of time. And after they dropped them, they went on to, I think they dropped them to Kalisto and Sin Cara. Yeah. They went up to the main roster, and they were pretty much just fed to the New Age Outlaws, and they were just booked as jobbers pretty much, and that's how they've been booked pretty much. Not including this tag team chamber match, but for the most part, they've been booked as jobbers. Same thing goes with Paige. I didn't really watch much of Paige in NXT before Arrival. She was in NXT and before she got caught up. But supposedly before she got caught up, she was also very good in NXT, and she got caught up to the main roster. And people don't like the way that she's being booked. And there are other examples, but I'm sure most of you know them. So that's pretty much the only gripe I have with NXT. But when you watch, there's a couple more, but when you watch it on the WWE network, and it has that ECW feel, and like even before, I guess it's blowing up now, as it has within like the past like 4 months. But about I guess I don't know, 8 months, maybe almost a year ago. My voice like shaking a little bit there. About a year, like almost a year ago, NXT was, it didn't like I knew that it just had that ECW type feel to it, and that it seemed like something special and seemed like something different that WWE was trying to do, because it's literally night and day between NXT and what happens on the main roster. In NXT, storylines are usually just cut and dry about championships. It's not stupid stuff. And they don't talk in the ring for about 20 minutes like they do in Monday Night Raw. Yeah, Monday Night Raw is an actual television show, and NXT only gets an hour once a week on the WWE network. But there's just a lot more wrestling. It's a lot more wrestling focus, and it's really good. And it's the developmental portion of the WWE. So it's kind of weird that, when these guys are put into this situation, they're in developmental, they're putting on great matches on the network, and then they get called up to the main roster, and they pretty much get told to tone it down, and it's kind of annoying. But it seems like they've been trying to change that as of late. Neville has actually been booked decently ever since he's been called up. Also, all the things that Kevin Owens has been doing with John Cena has helped. So hopefully more call-ups are getting will be booked well. But some of the people that have been I've enjoyed personally on NXT. I'll start with some of the women. First off, I feel like Charlotte. She's a great talent. Honestly, she should be brought up pretty soon onto the main roster. I feel she's been in NXT for I don't even know how long, but ever since I've been watching, she's been on it. She's been killing it, and she's totally easily better than some of the divas on Raw. So she should be brought up. But again, with that same caveat that if she's brought up, hopefully they have something to do with her. Same thing goes with Sasha Banks and Bayley. There are also who else? Becky Lynch is another one, and the woman of NXT pretty much brought me into it immediately. You turn on it. I turned on NXT, and it was a match between Bayley and probably Sasha Banks. I think they were having a feud, and it's just again, it's night and day between you watch a Divas match on Raw, and people call it a piss break. Because no one really cares about it. But in NXT, the women are actually given time to put on good matches. Every single NXT special that there is, the women always put on 15, 20-minute, damn good matches. The last two have been, instant classics, as people have been calling them. And, it's just weird that, again, when they go to the main roster, the matches that they put on are very short. And, it's nothing like what it was in NXT. Now it's really going to be interesting when someone like a Charlotte or someone like a Sasha Banks goes onto the main roster and fights a Paige, because I'm sure that they've had history while they were in NXT. So when they fight on the main roster, we're going to be able to tell, how's WWE going to book it. Are the matches going to be any similar that when they were in NXT, or will they be totally different? Like a Monday Night Raw type of style match. I hate to say that, but it's just the slower paced 2-3 minute diva style match, and we'll see whenever these women get called up. But again, there's just more wrestling in NXT. I like the tag team division right now. There's Blake and Murphy are actually entertaining me. A lot of people don't like them, but I like them as the tag champs. I wish Kalisto and Sin Cara were actually still in NXT because they were killing it as champs. And then also I'm going to talk about Big Enzo and Cass. Wow, I said Big Enzo and Cass. Wow. Cass, let me just slow down. Let me just slow down for a second. Enzo and Big Cass, with Carmella, obviously. They're a trio. They're like New Age Outlaws, and they're amazing. I really can't wait to actually see them whenever they come to Pittsburgh. But they're also very entertaining. Enzo's improved in the ring. He usually has that face in peril in a tag team match. Tries to get the hot tag to Big Cass. But his ring skills have been improving. I always liked Big Cass in the ring. And, Carmella, I actually like her. She's annoying, but, they kind of turned her into that annoying face character because she was obviously with they have so many nicknames. I'll just call them the New York Italian Brothers right now. But they're also very entertaining. Then you have tag team the Vaudevillains. They're not really on NXT much often. They were on this past week, but I also like them a lot. And that's the tag team division. And then you have who else is on their roster? I'm gonna actually stop just thinking out loud and try to look. You got obviously we talk about NXT 5 pretty much as people like to call them. You got Finn Balor. I do like his entrance with the face paint and whatnot. It reminds me of a Jeff Hardy type thing. Obviously, this guy was doing it in the Indies for a long time, so it's like his own little thing. But they're only bringing it out for special things, which I like. I think again, if you show it all the time, people will grow tired of it. Similar to what WWE is doing with Brock Lesnar, for example. But the only thing problem I have with Finn Balor is we don't see much of his character. You know, he's just this guy that likes to dress up and face paint and fight people. But you know, that's about it. I like him in the ring. I love his finisher. I have nothing against him in the ring. It's just like I just wish he had more of a character. We got Hideo Itami, which is who I love. He's start. I literally didn't know anything about this guy until he signed with NXT with WWE. I know that's a shame. He's considered like one of the best Japanese wrestlers of like ever, supposedly, or just one of the top wrestlers in the world, pretty much. Period. Over the past 10 years, and he's in WWE. He invented the GTS, and you know, hopefully, he starts to use that more as a finisher. Um, you got Kevin Owens, who I've talked about in other videos. So I'm not really going to talk much about Kevin Owens. Pretty much on the main roster now. Who else? Who else? You got Tyler Breeze, who I love. He has the whole selfie gimmick. Personally, I really think he looks like Dolph Ziggler for some reason. And I feel like if he's ever brought up to the main roster, him and Dolph Ziggler should form a tag team. I don't know why I think that, but that's just me personally. Also, but something about Tyler Breeze, you know, ever since like Hideo Itami and like Kevin Owens came into NXT, he's been pretty much pushed to the side, and you know it's really hard for him to have a spot. He's been like a number one contender for it seems like the entire time I've watched NXT, and he just never having fair number one, like just fair one-on-one championship matches. You know, they're giving the matches to Sami Zayn or Finn Balor or Hideo Itami, for example. So hopefully, because Sami Zayn and Hideo Itami are out, hopefully he gets an opportunity, but we'll see. You have also shockingly Rhino and the Brian Kendrick are in NXT. The Brian Kendrick had about one or two appearances, but Rhino's been on NXT for a decent amount of time. He's actually been on at least like once or twice a month, which I actually enjoy. The first time I see both of those guys, I kind of marked out a little bit, and you know I do like that they're putting older wrestlers from like the Ruthless Aggression slash like beginning of the PG-ish era on the NXT, and you know it's just a nice fresh change to be honest with you guys. Um, Solomon Crow, I'm gonna talk about him in a little bit. Me personally, I just don't like this guy that much. Every time he's on TV, I get really uninterested. I don't like his look. He's really small, and to be honest, I hate his finisher. He does like a back body drop off the top rope and then splashes onto his opponent, and it always just comes off looking really sloppy. I just really don't like the guy. I don't know why. Um, who else? Who else do I want to talk about? I know there's someone I'm missing for sure. You got Bull Dempsey. He's been around for a decent amount of time. He's okay. I don't really want to get much into Bull Dempsey. Obviously, I didn't talk about this guy, Baron Corbin, so I'm talking about Bull Dempsey. Baron Corbin, when he first came on, I actually really liked the guy. He looked like he's like, I don't even know how to describe him, but he just had a really great presence. And he kind of reminded me of a little bit like a Undertaker type character. Just that he was silent, but deadly. And he just had this stare that, you know, just really just was kind of badass. But more recently, you know, he's gone stale. He had a feud with Bull Dempsey, which kind of went nowhere, but he just pretty much they just keep on making him have squash matches after squash match after squash match, and it's kind of getting old. He had like a mini feud with Rhino, but now Rhino is going after someone. Rhino's now going after Finn Balor, so I don't know what Baron Corbin's going to be up to, but you know we'll see. Um, and you know I don't really know who else I really want to talk about much. The NXT roster is really not gigantic. You know, I guess I'll talk about Jason Jordan. I like the guy. He has a good look. Hopefully they'll end up doing something with him. The announce team on NXT, I also like. It seems like it's always changing. But Renee Young is the shit, and you know that's all that really matters. She's on there from time to time. Tom Phillips, I like. But yeah, you know NXT is also. Oh yeah, William Regal's the GM, and he's another good thing about NXT. The GM is not always just in your face, shoving their philosophies all over the show, or just like taking all the screen time. You know, William Regal is probably on there like once a month just to say a couple words, and you know his role is excellent in NXT, and I love it. And that's how authority figures should be booked. Just out of the way. Just let the talent perform and just set things up. But yeah, guys, that's my like kind of reviewish thing of NXT. It has all the potential in the world to be something special. We'll see how this whole touring thing works. I'm pretty sure this is like the first time they've ever really toured. They did shows in California and they did a show in Ohio before they've started this tour that they're gonna start soon. But we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, it's gonna be a success. But I am a little bit wary of them starting to tour NXT. Again, it is developmental, so I feel like if they do tour, it should be like limited. They shouldn't have like a full travel schedule that like the main roster guys have. That's just in my honest opinion. But the future is bright for NXT, as they like to say, and shit is awesome. So yeah, guys, that's my review-ish things of NXT, I guess. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.